Good evening, everybody. System Chalk here with the 131st episode of House of Light, our run through the expansion for Book of Hours, playing as the Archaeologist. I'm Librarian of Hush House, and this journal will record what arose from my crime and my curse. The Archaeologist's dearest wish when they came to the house was to record a history where their crime could be forgiven or redefined. You can complete the game by recording any history. You might wish to begin your studies with the Skolakosophy wisdom. I opened a tomb and found too late that it was a prison. The plague that I released is now my shadow, or perhaps I am its reflection. It is too late to set matters right, but it is never too late to protect the future from the past. In Hush House, I can do no harm. Perhaps I can even make amends. So, let's get a couple things out of the way first. So I did generate that foresight so I could take a shot at the burning woman. One of the things that's kind of funny about the novel method for invocation and contrition was one of the unspoken reasons why I didn't commit that, or why I didn't try reading that, was because I was thinking that I would use the Ericapean for, or maybe it's Ericapean? Maybe it's Ericapean. But anyways, I was thinking that I would use it to read The House of Glass towards a fundamental aesthetic, and ultimately didn't. And of course, now I probably will. And I've kind of talked myself out of reading that right away until I make a decision in terms of preliminary meter. But it's just kind of funny, you know, where I'm like, the whole reason why I didn't do it is I actually haven't followed up on. Anyways, I did a silly thing, didn't I? I used up... No, hang on. Embury and Lapidary is not my highest forge that I could be working with. So, transformations and liberations? No, pyroglyphics. Alright, so pyroglyphics, burning woman, metal, foresight. I think I mean, well, I have Orpiment Exultant if I really want to go crazy on the aspects. I don't think Catwink helps here, so we will throw the square at it. So for that, we need 2 more forge. Now, one thing I can do to sort of push things to my favor would be to read one of these forge texts. So we did 6 letters of necessity, so we'll read on resonance here. Now that's just on the odd chance that I need 2 forge from a memory. So I'll work with that. Next, I also want to make sure that I have... Oh, never mind. Next, I do want to restore the inescapable confinement, so we will read towards a fundamental aesthetic. But then the question is, what do I want to do with the remaining slots? So I believe I've read all of the books that will get me something related to something related to horns and ivories. So we're at what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, sorry, confounding parable isn't relevant. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that tells me actually that I don't really need to worry about any of the others. I'll likely overwrite one of these. And if I only get 2 lessons. I only sneeze when I start recording. It's the weirdest thing. But yeah, if I only get 2 lessons, that should cover me for everything for horns and ivories. The 3 to level it up to 4, and then when it's at level 4 to go to 5, we would need the 4. Which tells me I should be... Well, I mean, I suppose the next step would be to think about the other lessons that I would be getting from the Burning Woman, but I don't want to forget the work I was going to do with the dog, the living relic, or the, sorry, savage relic, and the orphan chick. So I'm really trying to think if I want to try and read I think I'm gonna skip for now, and we'll see what the rest of the day brings once everything's leveled up. Part of that's also because if I'm leveling up Horns and Ivories, that's going to take a bit more shaft than I originally thought. It does a lot with silence, this man. Okay, so let's start with our dog. Stray dog. Lost, frightened, eager. Use a soul card and a suitable sustenance. Food will make a hungry beast or a wild one cooperative. So in this case, it can be an egg or remains, which to me seems like I've got a couple of viper eggs I can work with here. I mostly made a selection here based off of what I had the most of. Feed the beastie. Satisfy this creature's appetite. So again, this isn't necessarily, like, there's no optimization here, really. This is just me being nice, or, well, less awful than I've been to these animals. But we do have a little bit of spare time anyway, so I'm not stressing out about the time that this is taking. It's also worth noting that we're starting to, like, we're kind of starting to whittle down the library here, which is good. Oh, the one thing I didn't do was figure out whether or not I had what it took to move the... Sorry, I didn't check to see if I had enough to use the miner to open up some of those rooms. I'll look at that in a moment. Oh, and here we go, the Ascendant Harmony. A bright and ringing music which evokes the blue sweep of the lower heavens. Okay, on Resonance, Experiments in Ithistry by the skysmith Everett Vincent. Vincent suggests percussion instruments that might be sympathetic to a number of hours and names. Some are more likely than others. Vincent uncontroversially suggests drums of various materials as the sympathetic instrument for the Thunderskin and its ascendant Dwendrozones. He proposes bells of bronze and iron for the Lionsmith and Colonel. He spends some time on the design of a bee rattle for the Malachite, but doesn't seem entirely confident of his findings. Okay, so that's the supplement for the Forge book I'm reading right now. This is Medusa's Lament, so we're going to start leveling up off of this. On the death of the hour called Seven Coils, the father of the mother. The first part of the poem describes the ambush of the Seven Coils by a warrior scarred all over by the traitor gods, scarred even unto his eyes, so that the sight of the great coils would not destroy him. The battle rages on until the Seven Coils drowns in its own blood, at which point the narrative turns mystical and elusive. A seven-titled goddess arrives from the foam of its blood. She is an armored queen, a serpent daughter, a key, a healer, a murderess, an oracle, but her seventh title is not to be revealed. So that gets us a fear. That's, I believe, the third fear that we've gotten today. And we should have enough space for Medusa's Lament. Probably the last book for that shelf, though. All right, we'll just leave it there. But I'm happy about that. Let's just commit it right away. So we'll take Horns and Ivories. Now, the first priority I'd have here, we're not talking with Denzel immediately, but what I'm going to do here is I will take the Stolen Secret, the Fear, and the Hindsight. And of course, that's because these are the ones that potentially an assistant would generate. So another fruit plucked from Knowledge's tree. And on top of that, we should get a peek at what the requirements are going to be. So we've got comfort, relevant furniture. Now I need 2 forge, it's worth remembering. Art, it's educational, and an extra soul effort. So at the very least, I can use the metal. Now I'm reluctant to use the metal because that will be something that I use to level up the skill when the time comes. So if I can swing it, The relevant furniture and the art should carry me to the finale. All right, I'm going to skip this. Well, okay, let's just make sure that I've got what I need. I'm near certain we've got some art. Yeah, it was Serena Blackwood. And then, again, I don't doubt that there is... that there is forge furniture. But boy, would I like to know what I'm pointing to when the time comes. Okay. So this is not furniture. I'm glad I did this check. Because it's one thing for me to assume. Interesting. Turns out I did have granite after all. A bucket of ashes counts as comfort. Fascinating. I wouldn't be surprised if that consumes it. But I think I'll learn to let go. I am very intrigued, though, that we actually have so little... Oh, there it is. Bell tower chair. Towards a fundamental aesthetic, or the House of Glass, Julian Cosley considered this his masterwork. Techniques for perception and analysis which permit invidious and apocalyptic conclusions. Probably the most assiduously suppressed book in history, the entire run was destroyed. Even the presses were melted and dispersed, but the manuscript edition has survived. The perfect hegemony of the hours is perhaps eternal, but Cosley proposes and describes confinement inescapable, aesthetic and optical techniques which might contain even an hour, profoundly disrupting the order of the mantis. He presents this as his own work, but there are hints here and there that he received inspiration or even assistance from the nowhere hour named Snow. So again, this is in prep for potentially using the miner to, or two miners rather, to get further in the house. Better now. And I'm not opposed to switching around the elements of the soul that I'm using here, but for now I'm going to content myself with the with using the shaft to earn some money. But yeah, the main goal right now is going to be a full belly makes a helpful friend. Loyal dog. Walkies are surely a small price to pay for his unshakable fidelity. Okay, moving on. We're going to talk to the Savage Relic, a shrieking little bundle of primordial ill temper. So this also will take an egg or remains. I don't really need the Viper, so satisfy this creature's appetite. Take a moment, stretch my legs and change my point of view. Increase relevant aspects by using a comfort. I guess I said I was going to use the ashes, but I have the bell tower chair close to hand. The skill is now level 4. Its power aspects have also increased. So we will immediately level up the horns and ivories. Avoiding the health in this case because, again, I'd like to do some gardening and maybe even visit the bees. So satisfying to have come so far. Improve the skill to level 5. Now, theoretically, this is the point where I'd be getting some additional forge memories as well, but at this point I kind of want to see how this turns out. I want to see what memory I get, and then we can use the remaining we can use the remaining elements of the soul to generate the memories that are relevant to transformations and liberations. Okay, there's still a chance. Take a moment to look at something here. Reveille Summer, a dry spell in a still place. So it may be the foresight that we get, in which case I will feel a little foolish, but... This is an Incastum Terminale, one of the great inks. Use it with your journal to record a history and fulfill your reason for coming to Hush House, if you so choose. Or we could use it to talk to everybody's favorite Hokebald. The skill is now level 5. Its power aspects have also increased. I'll take the time to move this to where it should be. Put it beside Hill and Hollow for now. I'll probably move it further though. Okay. The Burning Woman, a transcription of the play by Menander the Victor, possibly the dramatist of that name, into Frisian with commentaries. I've mastered this and gathered the lessons it concealed. The play describes the pilgrimage of smiths and adepts following the trail of the Burning Woman, who has appeared in all their dreams and given each a wound and a word. The smiths and adepts give up on finding the Burning Woman and resolve to build their own kingdom, where our strength will be sufficient to shatter the world. I notice the foresight is gone, so probably that's what we got. 2 transformations and liberations. And indeed, we got a foresight. So that is Forge and Moth. The Confounding Parable is not going to do much for me today, but we can still sleep on that if I feel so inclined. I wasn't planning on taking the time to do this, but I'm actually going to take a moment and see. I'd worked out something with the miner before, so I've got my notes here. So it says we start with 2 forge, then we add a health, which would bring us up to 3. Now the hourglass was the tool that I made a note of here. I guess I don't really have a better source of scale. The one that always surprises me is the bronze knife, but it's the nectar that's the surprising part for that one. Well, maybe less so when you know what to look for, but still. Inescapable confinement, so short of the earthquake name, which would be a difference of 1 point. That gets us up to 9. So fish would get me 1, wine would get me up to 11. So there's a couple things that I can do to push this ahead. So there's a reason why we got the Strathcoyne whiskey. Where are we? So that should be good for 2. So I'm going to change the plan on that one. So that brings us up to 11. Now the challenge here is that I would still need to find 3. I still need to find 3 food. I'm going to open up my Excel sheet, but I believe I only get 2 from my cooking. I know I check every single time for this, but... Well, okay, so... If I wanted to make a knot cake, and I certainly have plenty of cuckoo honey, it's not outside the realm of possibility, let's say. But my other alternative would certainly be roast beef. So So there is one other possibility that I can explore here. So I think it would be fair to say that if I want to deliver on the highest scale level, and of course I say this knowing that there is also the option of hiring some of the special visitors in the Sweet Bones. I know for some people who haven't played the game, it may not be apparent, but there are actually other people that you can hire that have higher levels. But all that said, I think, in fact, I wouldn't even need to cook the beef. I could just hand it off to them. But in terms of the different rooms, I would say, so we can get the Slithering Fountain. And the Mazed Cell, as long as I was willing to get an old moment, or sorry, an earthquake name. Now the challenge is that the earthquake name, I believe, requires the old moment. I don't think we can just get by... I think we can get by with a... Actually, was it Auroral Contemplations that gave me... No, it's probably Disciplines of the Scar. Yeah. I mean, 5 Lantern is not the easiest thing in the world for me to get with Disciplines of the Scar, but maybe the better question would be what kind of scale am I looking at here? Coil and Chasm seems to be the obvious candidate. Now, of course, the drawback here would be that I would need, like, so it's one thing for me to try and generate the old moment, but I need to generate the old moment and then the earthquake name. Then again, once I have the earthquake name, I sort of have it for good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pencil in the possibility of those... Yeah, I'm going to pencil in the possibility of getting those extra... sorry, I'm trying to think of two things at once. So yeah, I'm going to buy 2 beef and another Strathcoin whiskey. I mean, obviously I've got a surplus of the Strathcoin whiskey and stuff like that, but I might as well just get the replacements out of the way because it takes me a couple of days to order those anyway. I will not make the old moment or the earthquake name until tomorrow, but I'll probably make both of them quickly, sort of one after the other. The main focus that I want to have right now, though, is leveling up transformations and liberations. So I have kind of 2 tasks in front of me right now, because one of those is going to be talking to Denzel and just getting all the various leveling done. But the second is going to be trying to navigate how I'm going to generate all of the memories that I need. I think we'll just do it the old-fashioned way here. So for transformations and liberations, I just need 2... I just need 2 Trist, let's say. In fact, I can even make it 1 Trist and 1 Fet if I want the illusion that I'm somehow going to go visit Crowcross Sands or something. So those are the bare requirements taken care of. What we'll do now is we'll grab all of the various Forge texts that I can... Well, Forge or Moth, but I think Forge is going to do the heavy lifting on this one. So I've already got the Foresight taken care of. We won't worry about the rest of that. For Impulses, were we on Asite Supplications? Or maybe we're on the True and Complete... I'm going to do Thirstleys, Ivories, and Lovelies, because I imagine we're going to read this, we're going to get Impulses more than once. We will now move on. Okay, Confounding Parables, Storms, Patterns. That's Knock, that's not relevant, so Regrets does help me. Trying to remember... I think I'm going to go straight to 5 letters on memory for this one. Hindsight, Fears. I feel like I'm really blowing it for Forge and Moth. I may actually need to make a name day riddle. Okay, hindsight doesn't help me. Fears, contradictions, salt, solace, gossip, revelations, beguiling melodies, bittersweet certainty, and stolen secrets. I feel like I'm missing some really obvious moth stuff here. But let's deal with the problem I immediately find myself confronted with. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Yikes. Okay. So one fix will be to get any kind of touch. So I will use... Yikes. No, I'm going to use the Phos for something else. We'll use the Whist. I can use the occult scrap if I have to, but man, that feels like a big concession to just try and get a level 5 thing. So let me just go through this again and make sure I'm not making an obvious and stupid mistake. So Foresight we've got, that's 1. Impulse has got Moth and Nectar, and we've already got that on the list. Confounding Parable we have the option for, but that doesn't have Forge or Moth. Storm would be Heart and Sky. Pattern would be Knock and Rose. Regret has the Forge and Winter, so that's our 3rd. Hindsight is Winter and Scale. Fear is Edge and Scale. Contradiction is Edge and Moon. Salt is Knock, Moon, and Winter. Solace is Heart and Sky. Revelations are Pure Lantern. Gossip would be Grail and Rose. Beguiling Melodies would be Grail and Sky. Bittersweet Certainty is Winter and Lantern. And Stolen Secrets is Knock and... oh, heavens. Knock and Moon. I just don't remember about the secret threshold. I'm pretty sure it's not Moth, though. Okay, so we've got the Foresight... the Impulse, the Regret, the Touch. So clearly the Old Moment would be the answer. Also the Curious Hunch, but I think what I'm going to do with my current... Right. So that's 90 seconds. I'm going to wait on that. So what I'll do here is I'll just say, okay, transformations and liberations we're going to worry about tomorrow, which is a kind of a complication of its own. But again, we'll deal with this one at a time. That frees up the Tryst or the Fed. Let's say the Tryst here. So I will get some of the other work that I wanted to do. So that's going to be Cross Sands. Yeah, we can do Sand Stories. Okay. Beekeeping. So I don't think we're ready for vegetables yet, and I don't really need the grape. I mean, we might feed one of them to the... Okay, actually, I think that's reason enough. I will take advantage of the gardening opportunity I have. I've probably overcompensated for the shortfall that I had, but that's fine. More, like in the end, more. Having more flowers just kind of hanging around is certainly easier to deal with than wishing I had. Wishing I had certain things and then not have access to them. Okay. So what do I do with the rest of you? Don't have much need for the knot, so this one's going to be a little weird, but we'll make another amethyst ampule. the... Yeah, I have way too much stuff that I can be making right now. It feels a little wasteful. All right, well, sometimes we need to be wasteful. Let's get the orders in. Again, I'm sure I'm forgetting something really easy in terms of the levels, and I don't feel too constrained in terms of transformations and liberations. I've got a couple of extra things that I can use to get the memories that I need, but I do actually need to reflect on the fact that I have a little bit less than I thought that I did. And then at this point, because I know I've got a big surplus here, I'm just gonna plow all that into the sweet bones. I don't need to get too clever about that. All right, a full belly makes a helpful friend. Living relic. Few of these have been seen in the world under this sun. Friendly fellow. Okay, and then we've got our newest edition. The orphan chick, a peeping little thing. Its mother is dead or flown. So we can add the tryst. This one will take... It's carnivorous. I didn't realize. Feed the beastie. Satisfy this creature's appetite. And yes, that was deliberate. Okay, we should... Yeah, we'll get another beef first. Oh, for God's sake. All right. Let's... Let's reread... Actually, before I do that, let's just make sure that that's gone. We committed the Newman to the... to the... Okay, cool. All right, we'll just post that right away. So that's kind of one of the reasons I felt okay plowing the elements of the soul into the sweet bones. Will make up for this order here. Complete the order. And I think that will be it. So it's a little bit of a weird... It's a little bit of a weird day today, just in terms of how I sort of spent the time. Again, no sort of major regrets in terms of how it was spent. It's just a little bit different in terms of how it turned out. But what I'm going to do... So I am definitely inclined towards making the most of my access to the... You know, to hiring the miners for the rest of the season. So tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make an old moment, and if I can, to actually get that into an earthquake name. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that all in one go. I'm feeling mildly optimistic on it, but not like I don't think it's a slam dunk by any stretch of the imagination. From there, I also want to take the time. So again, it's not that I don't have Forge and Moth. I definitely thought that I had a little bit more than what I was originally working with. But now that I know what I'm up against, we'll take the transformations and liberations from 5 to 6 today. And then tomorrow we'll put together the parts that I need to take transformations and liberations from 6 to 7, at which point I can decide, okay, early in the day, what'll probably happen is like early in the morning, I'll go and try and make the old moment. I'll try and make a name day riddle. I'll probably use the curious hunch because I know that I can make that through other means. Basically just those easy ones to work with. And then in the worst case scenario, I can use the occult scrap. I do have Connie's card to be able to turn that into another occult scrap. But of course, we are also expecting a Numa, so it would be sort of nice if I can use that occult scrap and then recover it through using Connie's card, at least while I'm trying to find a newspaper to read. But all of that we can handle in a future episode. So thank you very much for watching. I should see you in tomorrow's episode. Until then, take care.